Welcome back to the channel. Today I have a leg session for you, starting off with seated leg curls. Lately I've been starting my leg session with laying leg curls. However, this time I decided to do the seated one first and try and experiment with something. I usually do 2 working sets to failure on the laying leg curls and do the seated one after. Having done that for many weeks now, I rarely lose any strength in my hamstrings when I come to do the seated leg curls, and it got me thinking something is definitely weird. So in this workout I decided to take 2 sets to failure and beyond failure on the seated leg curls and try and do the laying leg curls after and see what happens. I'm very close to maxing out the machine. I'm working in the 8 to 12 rep range. On the first set I got 10 reps and on the second one I managed to get 8 reps. On this one I feel the most amount of tension at the bottom of the exercise, so at the contracted position. Even though my rep range isn't very high, 2 sets in and I can already feel my hams pumped. Keep in mind that I'm not chasing the pump, however it's a good indicative that I successfully targeted the hamstrings. I'm also gonna take this exercise beyond technical failure where I add some partials at the end. Usually calves contribute to the leg curling motion, however on this exercise I don't feel any calf involvement. Now this is where it gets interesting, at least for me. See, when I do the laying leg curls after the seated leg curls, I lost a lot of strength in my hamstrings. Usually I can max out this machine, however at the moment I'm doing like 30 to 40% less weight. This is not true when I max out the laying leg curls first and then go to the seated one, because when I used to do this I still had strength in my hamstrings and I can still move very heavy weights with good technique on the seated leg curls. So we can conclude, at least for these 2 machines in this gym, that the seated leg curls are more taxing and recruit more of the hamstrings than the laying leg curls. So moving forward, I think I'm always gonna start with the seated leg curls first and do maybe 1 set of the laying leg curls, single leg or something. Anyways, here I also did 2 sets for about 6 to 10 reps with some partials at the end. And as I already stated in a previous video, I finish off all my hamstring work at the start of the workout and then move on to the rest. Now for the hip hinge, we have none other than the RDLs. I'm taking a deep breath in at the start of every rep. As you can see, I'm controlling it super slow, minimal to no bouncing at the bottom. I just let the plate touch the floor slightly. I have a flat lower back. I'm not standing all the way up. I'm keeping a slight bend in my knees and allowing the hamstrings and the glutes to do all the work. And it's very important to keep the bar as close to your legs as possible. I think I was able to match last week's reps, so 160 kgs for 2 sets of 6 reps. However, this week the repetitions look way better and are way more controlled. Sometimes guys, you can't just keep adding weights or adding reps. You have to repeat the same weight but perfect your technique. And believe me, I am close to failure on these. Even if the reps are smooth, I'm pulling as hard as I can while keeping my midsection tight. You can do RDLs with dumbbells, however when you get strong enough you can rep the heaviest dumbbells in the gym, so using the bar is way better. Hamstring work is finished, 6 sets. Next I'll move on to quads. Now I did a quick warm up with the machine kickback, each leg about 25 reps to get the blood flow going in my knees and quads. And on the Hacksquat machine I warmed up with 1 plate for 12 reps, 2 plates for about 5 reps, 3 plates for 1 rep, and then I took some rest and started my working set. I wanna hit 10 reps on these. Now I'm resting a little bit at the top of the exercise when the set becomes difficult near the end. As you see, very good effort. The reps are slowing down near the end. I think I have 1 to 2 reps in reserve on this one. However, I don't mind, I'm slowly progressing. I'm choosing to have a close stance here, so my feet are like 5 inches apart. So it's not my normal barbell squat stance. Toes are pointing forward and not out. Now you choose the stance that you feel most comfortable with. For me, I found this one to be very good to keep the tension on the quads and mainly on the vastus lateralis. So we're talking the outer sweep of the quad. It doesn't matter, the whole quad muscle is working, however I do feel these a little bit in my outer quad. If this machine wasn't at the gym, I would have done high bar heel elevated squats instead. I'm going for 90 degrees and then explode back up. If I continue to go down all the way, my knees will start to move backwards and that's unnecessary and useless. I'm adding the leg extension back to my leg workout. Simple and effective way to add more quality volume to the quads. Unfortunately, I'm maxing out the machine and that's okay. Now in the past I've done slow eccentrics, however I don't want to do these now, so I'm gonna superset the leg extension with sissy squats. Length and partials here at the end are tough and beneficial. One of the best supersets for the quads. Now here after leg extensions, the sissy squats become so much difficult. So I'm doing them a little bit assisted. I'll do as many reps as I can with a good technique where my hips are locked. And then I'll switch to normal squats where I do them on my toes. I think these are called Hindu squats. 2 sets here, as many reps as I can on the leg extension and as many reps as I can on the sissy squats. I had a minor tendon injury in my left knee before, and the only way I could heal it is to do exercises where my knees get over my toes. So in a sense, I'm bulletproofing my knees with this exercise. Don't underestimate these Hindu squats, guys. Amazing stretch on the quads. Here I'm keeping the tension and doing pump reps. And I'm taking breaks because the burn is unreal and my quads are about to explode. Try this superset, guys, and let me know what you think. Start with only 1 set and see how you feel. If I did the quad work first, my quads will be so pumped that I can't even do the RDLs properly. Now for a quad and glute hybrid, my exercise of choice is the static lunges. I'm doing 1 set per leg on this exercise using some relatively heavy weights. All the work, all the tension is going to the front leg, the back leg is just there so I can balance my body. I'm working in the 8 to 12 rep range on these, slowly adding some reps each week. If you don't have the balance, you can switch this exercise for Smith machine lunges. I'm gonna be switching soon to the Smith machine. However, I'm doing these because they are convenient. I can quickly grab the dumbbells and start the workout. I took about 3 minutes rest before starting the other leg. You can stand on a stepper with your front foot. So this way you have more range of motion and you get more stretch on the glute. I got 10 reps on both legs, and almost always the second leg is way harder than the first. The only superset I do in my leg workout is the one I did with the leg extension and sissy squats. Other than that, it's practically very tough to superset on leg days because the exercises by themselves are very taxing. To finish off the glutes, we have this variation of the single leg hip thrust. 2 sets for each leg. The target here is to squeeze the glutes at the top. When I can no longer do that, I'll drop the weight and continue with only my body weight. This is the last exercise I filmed for the day. However, off camera, I did calves on the Smith machine and single leg calf raises with a weight in my hand. In the background, you can see a standing hip thrust machine. Now, I've tried it before and it's practically useless. Insane pump in the glutes when I finish 1 set of this exercise. Now I understand why these ladies are obsessed with the barbell hip thrust. It's worth the setup, but I'm kinda lazy to set up the bar, so this variation is good for now. Now I have a decision to make. I don't know if I should keep doing these voiceovers or if I just post the workout footage without me talking over it. If someone's watching, please let me know what you think. For me, these voiceovers allow me to share my insights about training and how I think when I'm doing each exercise. That's it, guys. Thanks so much for watching. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up. I hope these videos help out with your own training. As always, stay focused, train with intent, and I'll catch you in the next video. Tomorrow we have an arm session. Have a good day. Peace.